The following matchup is presented and played with Hockey Blast Express, a product of PLAAY Games LLC, copyright 2023, all rights reserved. And welcome back to the channel, everybody, as we get set for a new day and a new time frame in this 1927, or excuse me, I almost said 1927 Yankees. 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens Gauntlet Challenge. Today's opponent is none other than Alexander Ovechkin, Evgeny Kuznetsov, and the entire 2020-2021 Washington Capitals. The 2021 Caps, that season, even though this was a COVID-shortened season, we will still allow them to participate in this Gauntlet Challenge. With that being said, your adjustments are right up at the top, right next to the time left on the clock. We have reset the clock to 1 hour, and hopefully Team NHL can find their way to a victory and hand the 76-77 Habs a loss here in this one. Without further ado, your starting goaltenders for Game 1 is going to be Craig Anderson for the Caps, and as of usual, Ken Dryden will be the starter for the 76-77 Habs. The ref is ready to drop the puck at center ice. Let's get to it. Start the clock. Oh, and we're going to begin with triples. Wow, it's going to be a fight right off the bat. So a fight breaks out between the players on each team with the highest fight rating. So right now, nobody. So no fight is a. So of course you guys can see nobody has a fight rating. So no fight happens, and we move on to the next segment. Penalty check between players 3 and 5. That is Mahovlich and Carlson. Oh, it looks like Mahovlich is going to go to the box as John Carlson is going to move in on Ken Dryden, who needs to make a 1, 2, 3, 4 or a 5 with a dot to make the stop. He does. So penalty, no penalty, or excuse me, a penalty was called on Pete Mahovlich as the Caps waste their opportunity on the power play and go 0 for 1, known-wise in the Express version. And we continue on with another penalty check. This time it's between Bouchard and TJ Oshie. Both guys have the same penalty rating. And if you're the Habs, why not get the most powerful guys off the ice that you possibly can in order to give yourself a chance in this one? Oh, and we got triple twos. This is going to be a critical face-off. So between Jarvis, looks like it's going to be Jarvis and Tom Wilson. So Tom Wilson has a face-off rating of 42. Doug Jarvis has a face-off rating of 60. And it looks like Doug Jarvis is going to win that face-off. So he's moving in on Craig Anderson, who needs to make a 5. Who needs to make a 1, 2, 3, or 4, 5 to make the spec save. Of course he does. Craig Anderson standing on his heels, and that is going to end the first period here at the Forum in Montreal with no score as we head to the second period. We got ourselves a quality check between players 1 and 3. That's Wilson and Kuznetsov. First star. Nobody has star, and we move on to the next segment here in this one. We got a penalty check, between Bill Nyrop and Dmitry Orlov. Both guys have the same penalty rating, it seems, as yes, both guys have the same penalty rating of 0.5, and we move on to the next segment. So far, evenly matched. Let's see what happens. Oh, penalty check between both players in 2. Oh, wow. Mantha and Lafleur. Both guys have the same penalty rating of 0.5, so no penalty is called. And so far, it is a dogfight here. Hoping one of these two will end up scoring the time frame's first goal of the, or excuse me, the first goal of the time frame. We move on. Visitor scoring chance of a 63. And we have any home player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Oh no, the Habs do not have a circle on them. Steve Shutt has a power play circle star, but it's not a circle. So no prevention of the power play goal. It's going to be a goal, and the Washington Capitals lead this one 1-0 over the 76-77 Habs. Let's see who scored that goal. We'll consider it to be a power play goal. 8, player with the best shot rating. Hello, Alex Ovechkin. He has a 3 shot star rating, which is the best out there on the ice. And let's see how many assists. 2. How about Backstrom and Oshie? So Ovechkin from Backstrom and Oshie scores the Caps' first goal of the game, and Team NHL is up early 1-0 with the 2020-2021 Washington Capitals in front by a score of 1-0, as there is still plenty of hockey to be played. Oh, penalty check between player 4 and anybody on the ice that is anybody on the ice for the Caps. So we do see a couple of contenders here to give the Habs a power play opportunity between Wilson and Dillon. However, the Washington Capitals really want to tie things. So let's have the decider die say it. The Caps tie. And they're gonna have the Montreal Canadiens go on the power play. So it's either Dillon or Wilson go into the box. I do want to keep a square out there, but let's have the decider die decide. So we'll say it's Brendan Dillon. And it will be Brendan Dillon. So Brendan Dillon is going to go to the box as Serge Savard moves in on Craig Anderson, who needs to make a play save. 1, 2, or 3 should do it. And he does. Craig Anderson stands on his head, preventing a power play goal to keep this game right where it's at of 1-0 in favor of the 2020-2021 Washington Capitals. And after 40 minutes of play in the books for game 1, the score is Washington Capitals 1 and the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens 0. We start the third period with a visitor score chance of a 45. Any visitor player with a power play circle star symbol creates a power play goal. Luckily, the decider I chose Dillon because Tom Wilson has a power play circle star out there, so he creates a power play goal opportunity. And as he moves in on Ken Dryden, who needs to make a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 with a dot to make the stop. Which he does. Wow. Tom Wilson got robbed by Ken Dryden. As okay, so nobody on the Habs flip, and we move on to the next segment. Oh boy, a home scoring chance of 34. Home player in 2 creates a goal. That is Mario Tremblay. He creates a goal with a quality roll of hit or a triangle. He does not have a triangle. However, he does have a hit. He does have the hit quality, so he's going to be moving in on Craig Anderson, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He does. Wow. Craig Anderson standing on his head prevented the Habs from getting on the board. We move on to the next segment. We got a quality check, this time between players 5 and anybody on the ice with hit and power. Well, to tie, it's close, but they can go with Eller, Mantha, or Carlson for power, but we're looking for skill. So it looks like pick your poison because the Caps are going to win that one. So we're going to roll the red die that I've highlighted on screen here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 will do so. So player 2, that's Anthony Mantha. So he's going to win that one as he does have skill. So he's moving in on Ken Dryden, who needs to make a 1, 2, 3, 4, or a 5 with a dot to make the stop. He does. Anthony Mantha gets robbed by Ken Dryden, and we move on to the next segment here in this one. Oh, penalty check between Doug Reesborough and anybody on the ice for the Caps. Well, guess what? Either way, Doug Reesborough is going to go to the box because pick your poison. I think we're going to go with TJ Oshie. TJ Oshie may have a best chance here. So he's moving in on Ken Dryden as he looks to get the Caps the lead here or extend their lead here as Oshie shoots and Dryden makes the save. So we go to the empty net mini chart as the game does end in a one goal margin. As you can tell by the score, the Caps lead 1-0. And let's see what happens for our empty net chart mini chart roll here. Keep your eyes on that number I've highlighted. It's a 9. The game is over. Stop the clock. Wow, right at 50 minutes. That took us 10 minutes, roughly 10 minutes to play. So you can see how fast this game can be for how I'm playing. But that is probably going to be like the third best, fastest game. It will be the third fastest game that we have played in this project so far. So the Capitals are going to put Team NHL in front 1-0 in this time frame as the Caps take this game by a score of 1-0. Stay tuned for the Bitty Beer game summary brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. Big taste, Bitty price, Bitty Beer. And welcome back, everybody, as we get set for game 2 of this time frame. And as you can see, we have played 10 minutes already into this contest. Craig Anderson made it look easy as the Washington Capitals of 2020-21 take game 1 of this time frame by a final score of 1-0. So we shift gears now to the Capital One Center in our nation's capital, or excuse me, the Capital One Arena, or whatever, in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., as Michel Larocque will be the starting goaltender for the 76-77 Habs, and Vitek Vanacek will be the starting goaltender for the 2020-21 Washington Capitals. The Caps lead, as you can see, by a time frame by winning game 1 as they lead this time frame by a score of 1-0. And let's see how game 2 gets going here. With 50 minutes left on the clock, there's plenty of time to get on the board here for the Habs. But Team NHL is saying maybe we want to try to keep it to a minimum here, so they're not going to have any say in it, not guaranteeing it, but let's see what happens as game 2 gets underway. Will the clock operator please start the clock? And we're going to begin with a visitor scoring chance of a 56. Any home player with a square stops a visitor goal. Yes, John Carlson does have a just does have a square, so he stops the visitor goal from scoring. So what a heads up play by John Carlson as we move on to the next segment. Quality check between players 2 and 1. That is Tom Wilson against Steve Schutz. We're looking for the quality of skill. Both guys have skill, and we move on to the next segment. Here in game 2 with the Caps in front of 1-0 in the time frame. We got a quality check between players 4 and anybody on the ice for the Habs. Player number 4 is Nick Jensen. We're looking for star. He's not going to win that one, so we want a guy with star. It's either Lambert, Kernoyer, and Mahavlich. I think we're going to go with Yvonne Kernoyer, as he does have star, so he moves in on Vitek Vanacek, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He can't. The Habs get on the board. It's 1-0. So Kernoyer scores the goal, and it will be unassisted. So Yvonne Kernoyer, unassisted goal in the 15th minute of the first period as your goal stat line. We move on, and Nick Jensen needs to flip. We got a quality check between anybody on the ice for the Caps against Yvonne Lambert. We're looking for all the qualities, but we're looking for the quality of smart. The one that is closest is going to be Lars Eller. So he's going to go toe-to-toe with Lambert as both guys have smart. And we move on to the next segment here in this one. We got a penalty check between both players in the fourth spot. That's Bouchard and Orlov. Both guys have the same penalty rating, and the ref says that's it. Play on. But if I catch either of you doing it again, you're going to the sin bin. And with that, the period comes to an end as the Habs take an early 1-0 lead here in game 2, hopefully to get on the board to tie the game, or to tie this tie frame up. Visitor scoring chance of a 34. Visitor player in 1 creates a goal that is Wilson with a quality roll of smart or a triangle. Wilson does not have a triangle. However, Maury Wilson has smart, so it's going to end up being a goal scoring opportunity as he moves in on Vanacek, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. He does. Maury Wilson is robbed by Vitek Vanacek to start the second period here at the home of the Washington Capitals. And we move on to the next segment. We got ourselves a 4-2-5. That's a quality check between Anthony Mantha and Bill Nyrock. We're looking for skill. Both guys have skill, and we move on to the next segment of this second period here with the Habs up, with the 76-77 Habs up 1-0. Oh, and we got a home scoring chance of a 44. It reads, any home player with a power play star symbol, I should say, creates a power play goal. Luckily for us, we flipped Mantha to Oshie, so he does have a power play circle star symbol out there. So it looks like Oshie is going to be moving in on Michel Larocque to make a play save here with a 4 or 5 with a dot, which Oshie shoots. Oh, and Michel Larocque makes the stop to keep this game right where it's at of 1-2 in favor of his team, the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens. Penalty check between players 1 and 2. That's Connor Sheary and Guy Lafleur. Both guys have the same penalty rating of 0.5, and the ref says play on, but if I catch you doing it again, one of you guys is going to go to the sin bin. And with that, the second period comes to a close in game 2 of this time frame, with the Habs still in front, 1-0. we got ourselves a quality check, this time between Wilson, excuse me, not Wilson, sorry, between Jensen and Pete Mahovlich for speed. Oh, Nick Jensen does have speed, so he's going to be moving in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to make a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 with a dot to make the stop. He can, and the game is tied up at 1. Nick Jensen will get the Caps on the board, and let's see how many assists we're handing out on the Jensen goal. So 2 assists, Kuznetsov, and I do want to keep Wilson out there just in case if I need a power play circle symbol out there. But the question is, do I want to give it to Dylan though? Well, Kuznetsov is going to give the first assist. Let's do this. It's either Wilson or Dylan. Dot, it's Wilson. And it will be Wilson. So Jensen and from Kuznetsov and Tom Wilson is your game-tying goal. Whole stat line. We move on to the next portion of this segment here with a quality check, this time between Hagelin and Mahovlich was used. Between Hagelin and Jarvis for skill. Both guys have skill, and we keep the game, and the game remains tied as we go to the next segment here in this third period. Penalty check, between Alex Ovechkin and Doug Riesborough. Guess what? Doug Riesborough is going to go to the box. Alex Ovechkin is going on the power play with the Caps as he moves in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to score a power play goal. Does he do so? Oh, and he doesn't. Michel Larocque knows Alex Ovechkin quite well, if you've been studying him from heaven, of course. But of course, Michel Larocque makes the stop to keep this game right where it's at of 1-0 of a game tying, of a tie game at 1 apiece. And we move on to the next segment. Quality check between, again, players 1 and 3, that's Sheary and Mahovlich, for hits. Oh, nobody between the two has hits, so that's going to end up being nothing doing there as we move on to the next segment here in this one. Penalty check between both players in 1. So it looks like Schutt and Hagelin both have the same penalty rating of 0.5. So we move on to we are going to overtime. As the game does not end in a 1-goal margin, it's tied, and it says we go to the empty net mini chart if the game does end in a 1-goal margin, which we have a tie game. So the way that overtime is going to work, we're playing out the same 4 segments of 5 minutes as we did in the regulation periods, and the first team to score a goal wins. That's all it is. So we're going to start things new, and the score has been reset, and let's get to it. Oh, and a home scoring chance. 33. 33. Home player in 1 creates a goal with a quality roll of power or a triangle. Oh boy, Alex Ovechkin is back out there. He's creating a goal with power or a triangle. He does have both. He moves in on Michel Larocque to hopefully to make the play save here to save the game and the Habs' chances as Ovechkin from his usual office spot on top of the left circle as he shoots. And Larocque makes the save. Alex Ovechkin got robbed. Oh my Lord. We move on to the next the next segment here in the first overtime period. Quality check, this time between players 5 and 1. That's Dylan and Lambert. We are looking for Star. It looks like Lambert does have Star as he moves in on Vanacek, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, as Lambert will shoot. And Vanacek makes the stop. Wow. So that is going to be a doozy, folks. Anything can happen in this overtime period, as we have seen so many games throughout this time frame, throughout this project here. We move on to the next segment. Oh, and we got a critical face-off here. Okay, so it's going to be, looks like Jarvis and Nicholas Backstrom. Backstrom has a 48. Jarvis has a 60. Well, guess what? Doug Jarvis has an opportunity to end it right here as he moves in against the opposing goalie spec save rating. Well, Vitek Vanacek has a 5 spec save rating. A 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 will do it. A 6 will end the game. Jarvis skating on in up the ice as he moves in on Vanacek and shoots. And Vanacek makes the stop. Holy. What a save that was by Vitek Vanacek to keep his team in this game right here as we move to the next segment of the first overtime period with a quality check between players, anybody on the ice for the Caps, and against Rick Chartraw for skill. Unfortunately for Chartraw, he's going to lose to whomever has skill. So pick your poison. I think we're going to go with Mantha. We're going to see if Anthony Mantha can score the game winner for the Caps here in the first overtime period, as Mantha will win that quality check over Rick Chartraw as he moves in on Michel Larocque to make a play save, as he needs a 4 or 5 with a dot to do so, as Mantha moves in on Larocque and shoots. And Larocque makes the save. Unbelievable. So we're going to the second overtime period here in game 2 of this time frame. Deadlocked at 1 apiece. One of these two teams are going to have to win. So let's do it. We begin the second overtime period with a home scoring chance of a 32. Choice home player rules for rebound goal using shot stars +2. This could be it. And TJ Oshie looks like he's going to be the hero here, as he has 2 shot stars. Do we add on the right shot stars? Yes. Shot stars +2. TJ Oshie is going to take this one, as he needs a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to end it. He does, and the Washington Capitals win it in the second overtime period. Stop the clock. The Capitals win game 2 by a final score of 2-1 in double overtime. Let's see who got the assist on that goal. We got a 6, so 1 assist. That's going to be John Carlson. So Oshie from John Carlson to win it all for the Washington Capitals here in this one. Man, what a game. In double overtime, the Caps take a 2-0 time frame lead. They may shock the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens, as Team NHL looks to get on the board with its first time frame victory of this project. So with that being said, stay tuned for Game 3 coming up next, as well as the Bitty Beer Game 2 game summary presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste. At a bitty price, it's Bitty Beer. And welcome back to the time frame matchup here between the 2021 Washington Capitals and the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens. This is Game 3. of this time frame. As you can see, the Caps lead it by a time frame score of winning 2 games to none. For the Habs, it is crunch time because you're letting Team NHL get an easy 2 victories, but anything can happen throughout this next portion of this time frame. With that in mind, with 36:26 left on the clock, your starting goaltenders are going to be the same as we get set with Vitek Vanacek in net for the I almost said the Habs, for the Caps, who is going to have a shot star added onto his card, so he's going to have a shot save rating of 2, and Michel Larocque will be in net for the Habs. So let's get right to it with Game 3. With 36:26 left on the clock, will the clock operator please start the clock? Right off the bat, we're going to get a home scoring chance of a 15. Visitor goalie must make a shot save right off the bat. Vitek Vanacek is going to get tested right away. So he needs a 1 or a 2 to make the stop. Oh, and he can't. And he can't stop it. Unbelievable. The Montreal Canadiens do get on the board. Let's see who scores the goal. Or excuse me, who scored the goal. It's going to be a third best shot rating. And it looks like a tie between Riseborough and Tremblay for the best. The third best is going to go to Maury Wilson. So Maury Wilson will score the opening goal for the Habs. And how many assists are going to be given out? 10, so 2 assists. It's going to end up being, I do want to keep one square out there. So Savard, and we'll go with Tremblay. So Wilson from Savard and Tremblay are going to be your assist takers on the goal by Maury Wilson to open up Game 3 of this time frame. Quality check between both players in one. That's Connor Sheary and Steve Shutt for Smart. Both guys have Smart, and we move on to the next segment here in this one with the Habs in front, 1-0. Oh, and we got an injury on the visiting team. So let's see. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the Capitals. 2, that's Tom Wilson. Oh my. So again, with injuries, if you are just tuning in for the first time, kind of like real hockey, Tom Wilson will be exiting the game like so the Caps will be down a forward here, and between Mantha and TJ Oshie will be the players in spot 2, and that spot will not be refilled. So kind of like you see in normal hockey, a team will be down a guy, and that's going to be it for the segment, and we move on. We got a quality check between both guys in the 4th position for hit. Both guys have hit between Bouchard and Dmitry Orlov, and we move on to the next segment of this time frame. Of Game 3 of this time frame. Visitor scoring chance of a 62. Any home player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Otherwise, it's a goal. Oh no. The Habs do not have a single circle out there. 62. Yes. Do not have a single circle out there. All they have is triangles and squares. So the Capitals do get on the board with a power play goal. Let's see who scored it. 4, third best shot rating. The best down on the ice is Mantha. The second best is Eller. The third best is Carl Hagelin. So Carl Hagelin will score the goal, the game-tying goal for the Capitals. let's see how many assists will be given out on the power play goal by Carl Hagelin. 1 assist. So it's between Mantha, Eller, and Jensen and Dylan. I do want to keep one symbol out, one triangle, one square, and one circle symbol out there. So it's going to have to be Lars Eller. So Hagelin from Lars Eller will be your stat line on that game tying goal here in game 3 as we are knotted up at 1 apiece. Oh, and we got a home scoring chance of 53. Visitor defense player in 4, that is Nick Jensen. He stops a Montreal goal opportunity with the quality roll of speed or a square. He doesn't have a square, though, but he does have a circle. So Nick Jensen is going to block Montreal from getting the lead here to keep the game tied up at 1 apiece after 20 minutes in the books. Visitor scoring chance to begin the second period with a 41. Visitor player in... Oh, excuse me. Did I read that right? Oh, I think I'm... Well, never mind. I'm gonna leave the last result as is and read this one as a 41. Visitor player in 4 creates a goal with a quality roll of smart or a triangle. That is Orlov. Did I use Orlov? I think I did use Orlov. No, I didn't. I didn't use Orlov. Sorry, I didn't. I just remembered I didn't. So Orlov creates a goal with a quality roll of smart or a triangle. He does not have a triangle. However, he does have smart. So he moves in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to make a play save here with a 1, 2, 3, or 3, 4, or a 5 with a dot to make the stop. Can't. Scores. Dmitry Orlov puts the... Whoops. Put it in the wrong spot there. Sorry. The Caps, the 2020-21 Caps extend their lead with 2-1 lead now, courtesy of Dmitry Orlov. And let's see how many assists will be handed out in the play. It'll be 2. And it looks like Kuznetsov will be 1, and Ovechkin will be the other one. So Evgeny Kuznetsov will get the first assist. Alexander Ovechkin will get the secondary assist to Dmitry Orlov scoring the go-ahead goal here in the first half of this second period. We got a quality check between players 3 and 2. That is Riesborough and Mantha for smart. It looks like Mantha is going to win that one as he does have smart. And he moves in on Michel Larocque, hopefully to extend the lead as the big Frenchman moves in on Michel Larocque, who needs to make a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 with a dot. And he does. Wow, he stops him. Mantha stops. Mantha gets stopped by Larocque to hopefully extend the lead, but the Habs say not so fast. We move on. Home scoring chance of an 11. We got visitor goalie must make a play save. Okay, Vitek Vanacek needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he does. So nobody flips, and we move on to the next segment. We got a quality check between anybody on the ice for the Habs against player 1. That is Connor Sheary. We're looking for hits. Sheary's not going to win this one, but Sheary is not going to win this one. So the Habs can go with a tie or pursue the scoring opportunity to tie the game. I think they will pursue to score the game-tying goal. So it's either between Knoyer or Nyrop. It's going to be Yvonne Knoyer. And it's going to be Bill Nyrop. So Nyrop is going to move in as he wins that quality check, as he does have hits, as he moves in on Vitek Vanacek, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, which he does. The Caps lead is really hanging on by a dire thread, hanging on a piece of thread, a thin thread here, with a 2-1 lead. We move on to the next segment. Penalty check between players 3 and 5. That's Mahovlich and Brendan Dillon it's a penalty check between players 3 and 5. So Mahovlich and Dillon. It looks like Brendan Dillon's going to go to the box as Pete Mahovlich is going to move in on Vitek Vanacek, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop, as Mahovlich will shoot and score to tie the game. It's a power play goal for Pete Mahovlich. And let's see who scored the goal, assisted on the goal. So 1 assist. I think we're going to go with, you know what? I think we're going to go with Knoyer. So Mahovlich from Yvonne Knoyer. And again, if I do butcher any names, I do apologize. As the Habs tie things up at 2 apiece, as we head in now to the next segment, a portion of this segment here of the second period. We got a quality check between players 1 and 5. That's Lambert and Dillon needs to be flipped. Between Lambert and Carlson, we're looking for Smart. Both guys have Smart, and that's going to do it for the second period, but not before the Habs tie it up, courtesy of Pete Mahovlich's power play goal, as the game is tied up at 2, with the Caps leading the time frame 2-0. Quality check between players 2 and 4. Guy Lafleur and Nick Jensen for hit. Nobody has hit, as Montreal needs to get their star players going here, as the Caps have done a really nice job of silencing them through 2 games of this time frame. And we move on to the next segment. Visitor scoring chance of a 26. Choice visitor player rolls for a goal using assist stars +2. No doubt I'm going to give that to Backstrom, because TJ Oshie has 1 assist star. +2 would be 3. Nick Backstrom, better chance to go with Backstrom. So we're going to keep Oshie out there. So we're going to give that chance to Nicholas Backstrom as he moves in, on Larocque, who on Backstrom needs to score a goal using assist stars +2. So he needs to make a 1, 2, 3, or 4 to score the goal. 5 or 6, Larocque saves it. And Larocque will save it. Wow. Nick Backstrom had all the power that he needed. He wound up, took a slap shot right at Michel Larocque, and Larocque says, "Nuh-uh, not today." We move on to the next segment. Another visitor scoring chance. This time, the home goalie must make a shot save. Not so lucky now, huh, Larocque? You need him to make a 1 or a 2 to make the stop, which you won't. The Washington Capitals take a 3-2 lead here in Game 3. Let's see who scored the goal. 7. Player with the best shot rating. Already that's going to be TJ Oshie. And let's see who assisted TJ Oshie on the goal. 2 assists. So it's going to be between Eller, Orlov, Dillon, or Hagelin. Well, Hagelin is probably going to get the second assist, because I do want to keep 1 square out there. We're going to keep Eller out there. So we're going to go with Oshie from Orlov and Hagelin. for the go-ahead goal here in Game 3 of this time frame here. And we move on to the next portion of this segment. Penalty check between players 2 and 5. That's Tremblay and Dillon. Both guys have the same penalty rating, and the ref says play on. But if I catch you doing it again, you're going to the box. Here we go. Visitor scoring chance of a 34. Visitor player in 1 creates a goal with a quality roll of skill or a triangle. Guess who that person is in 1? The great 8, Alexander Ovechkin. He does have skill and he does have a triangle. So he moves in on Larocque, who needs to make a 1, 2, 3, 4, or a 5 with a dot to stop Ovi from scoring. As Ovechkin sets up in his office, he receives the puck from one of his teammates on the ice as he gets the puck and shoots. And Larocque makes the stop. Alexander Ovechkin is like, come on, dude. I had you beat. Michel Larocque has these fans in Montreal jumping up and down and saying, let's go, Larocque. And we go to the empty net mini chart. Keep your eye on this. Whoops. Keep your eye on this number right here as we get set to see if the game is over or if the game will extend to overtime. 7, leading team scores an empty net goal. Oh, and that's going to be the Caps, and the game is over. Stop the clock. The leading team scores an empty net goal. Let's see who scored the goal. 5. It's choice players. So again, 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 is going to score the goal. That's Nick Jensen scoring the empty net goal. How many assists? 2 assists. Carlson and we'll give it to Eller. So Jensen from Carlson and Eller will seal the deal for the Caps as they take a commanding 3-0 series lead. Wow. And Team NHL is sitting prime and pretty to win their first time frame matchup of this time frame here. As the Caps go back to their arena for game 4 of this time frame with 20 minutes and 26 seconds remaining on the clock. We should have enough time to play 2 more games, but depending on how fast we play out the next game, who knows? We're going to have enough time, but we need to play out the remaining of the time frame in order to do so. So with that being said, your final score for game 3, the Caps down 1-0 early, crawled back to a 2-1 lead to tie it at 2, to take a 3-2 lead in the third, and sealing it with an empty net goal of 4-2. Stay tuned for game 4 coming up next in this time frame, and also stay tuned for the game 3 Bitty Beer game summary. As always, every game summary in this project is brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. It has big taste. At a bitty price, it's Bitty Beer. And welcome back to the channel, everybody, as we get set for game number 4 in this time frame, is between the 2020-2021 Washington Capitals and the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens. Currently, the 2020-21 Washington Capitals lead the time frame, winning 3-0. And if they win this, and if the Caps win this game, Team NHL is sitting prime and pretty to win their first time frame of this project. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Will the clock operator please start the clock? We're going to begin with a 4-6-1. That's a quality check between anybody on the ice for the Caps against player 1 that's shot for Smart. Pick your poison. We're going to go right across from him, Connor Sheary, as both guys do have Smart. Get some of these big men off the ice. Early and often. So we move on to the next segment. Penalty check between Orlov and Lambert. Both guys have the same penalty rating, and we move on to the next segment here in this one. Oh, and it's an automatic power play goal for the home team, so the Caps get on the board. Let's see who scored the power play goal. Player with the second best shot rating. So the best out there is Oshie. The second best is going to go to Lars Eller. So Lars Eller is going to score the goal. It's going to be worth 1 assist. I do want to keep one circle out there. So we're going to go. I think we're going to go with Nick Jensen. So we're going to go with Nick Jensen, who will get the assist on the Lars Eller power play goal, and we stay in this 15th minute with a 4-3-3 between Kuznetsov and Jarvis of the quality check for Star. Jarvis has Star. He moves in on Craig Anderson, who needs to make the play save. I usually don't do the special shot save stuff. I only do shot saves when it is called upon in the scoring chance. That's how I play my games with Hockey Blast Express. We move on, and as Jarvis moves in on Craig Anderson as he shoots and saves it. Craig Anderson needed to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop. Doug Jarvis shot the puck towards him. He says, "Thank you very much. I'll put this into my back pocket," and we move on to the next segment. Visitor scoring chance of a 56. Any home player with a square stops a visitor goal chance. We do. Either Dylan or Orlov is going to stop the goal. Is going to stop the goal chance for the Montreal Canadiens. It's going to be Orlov. And it will be Brandon Dillon stopping the Montreal goal chance. And that's going to be it for the first period as we move into the second with a score of Washington Capitals 1 and the Canadiens 0. We got a quality check, this time between players 4 and anybody on the ice for the Habs with speed, skill, hit, and smart. We could tie with Cournoyer, but we're looking for skill. So pick your poison between Savard, Cournoyer, and Wilson. I think we're going to go with Cournoyer. So both guys have skill, and we move on to the next segment in this one. Another quality check, this time between players 5 and 2. That's Carlson and Lafleur for smart. Both guys have smart, and the Washington Capitals keep the big men on campus of the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens in check. we move on with a quality check between, again, both players in 5 and 2. That's Dillon and Tremblay for speed. Oh, Mario Tremblay is going to stop the quality check winning streak of the Caps as Tremblay will move in on Craig Anderson to make a play save as Tremblay shoots and scores to tie the game. How many assists? 2. We are going to give one to Reesborough and the other assist to Wilson. So Tremblay from Reesborough and Wilson scores the Habs game-tying goal here in this one. But not to mention the Habs have really kept Alex Ovechkin in check as they've done their part as the Canadiens do their part. We continue on in this segment with a home scoring chance of a 45. Any home player with a power play circle star creates a power play goal. It's either Oshie or Backstrom. Dot, it's going to go to Oshie. And it will go to Oshie as he creates the power play goal scoring opportunity as he moves in on Ken Dryden, who needs to make a 4 or 5 with a dot to make the save. Oh, 5. Yes, 5 dot. Yes, he makes the save. I was going to say he scores. Yeesh. So Oshie gets stopped by Ken Dryden, and we move on to the next segment. 56 between, or excuse me, 5, which is a quality check between players 5 and anybody on the ice that has hit, smart, and power of Brandon Dillon. Close, but we're going to go with Savard. We're looking for speed. Nobody has speed. As we move on to, the next segment here in this one. We go to the third, tied at 1. Home scoring chance of 43. Any home player with a triangle creates a goal. You bet your butt we have 3 guys. Mantha, Backstrom, or Carlson. Mantha has a 2-shot star rating, but even though it's not going to be used, I think we'll keep Mantha. Let's see what the die says. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, Mantha's 1, 2. Backstrom is 3, 4. And John Carlson is 5, 6. And it will be John Carlson looking to move in on Ken Dryden, who shoots. And he makes the save. John Carlson, unlucky that time to keep the game to extend, to break the 1-1 tie as we move on to the next segment. Penalty check between players 1, that's Hagelin, and anybody on the ice for the Canadiens. It looks like the Canadiens can either go on the power play to get into the lead, or they could tie, or they could have the Caps go on the power play. So 1, 2, they go on the power play. 3, 4, they tie. 5, 6, the Caps go on the power play. So they're going to tie. So they're going to go with Shutt to tie things up with Carl Hagelin. And that's going to do it for that penalty segment as we move on to the next segment of the third period, tied up at 1. Visitor scoring chance of a 52. Home player in 2, that's Anthony Mantha. He stops a goal with a quality roll of smart or a square. It looks like Mantha does not have a square, but he does have smart, so he's going to stop the Montreal goal from getting past him towards Craig Anderson's net, towards back behind the net of Craig Anderson for a 2-1 lead, and we move on to hopefully the final segment of this one. And it's a 2-2. It's a critical face-off. So we got Mahovlich and Backstrom are the only 2 guys with face-off ratings. Mahavlich has a 53. Backstrom has a 48. Mahavlich is going to win that one as he moves in on Craig Anderson, who needs to make a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 to make the save. He does. Wow. What a save by Craig Anderson. And folks, we are going to sudden death overtime. Let's get to it. Home scoring chance 62. Any visitor player with a circle prevents a power play goal. You bet your butt we have one. Doug Jarvis is going to stop the Caps from scoring a power play goal to end it right there. Or excuse me, right then and right there. We move on to the next segment of the first overtime period. We got a quality check between Eller and Riesborough for skill. It looks like Lars Eller does have skill as he moves in on Ken Dryden. Hopefully, the Caps to seal the Caps' victory and the time frame as Eller shoots and scores. Stop the clock. Lars Eller, ladies and gentlemen, scores the game-winning goal in the first overtime period, and the Caps, for the first time in 4 or 5, this is serious. This could, or excuse me, I got to make sure about the math here. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. For the first time in 6 tries, Team NHL will seal up a time frame victory here in this one, considering the 2020-2021 Washington Capitals to beat the 76, are the first team to beat the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens. Now, there is a downside that the Capitals played in a shortened season. If you think that's going to be, if you think that's worse with a team playing less than 82 games, I said every single team that played in a season would play in this one. So unfortunately for the Habs, they have a little beef here. They only played 56 games. I think they played the regulatory of 80, like 74, 75, mostly close to 80 games in their season. But nonetheless, the Capitals will take this time frame from the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens, no matter what happens in Game 5, with less than 10 minutes to go in the time frame. So with that being said, let's check to see who scored the assist with Lars Eller. It's 2 assists. It looks like it will be it'll be Ovechkin and Brandon Dillon. So Lars Eller from Alex Ovechkin and Brendan Dillon to seal up the game-winning overtime, the game winner in the first overtime period of Game 4 to take it by a final score of 2-1 here in Game 4 to seal up Team NHL's first time frame victory. So with that being said, stay tuned for the Bitty Beer Game 4 game summary, and brought to you by your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. As always, it has big taste. At a bitty price, it's Bitty Beer. And stay tuned for Game 5 coming up right after this. And welcome back, everybody, as we get set for Game 5 of this time frame as the Habs try to look to gain some confidence heading into the next time frame coming up tomorrow, whoever the opponent may be, as the 2020-21 Washington Capitals have already clinched Team NHL's first time frame win in this project. With that being said, with 9 minutes and 59 seconds left on the clock, we will play out Game 5 as scheduled. And whenever the clock hits zero, I will look and determine when the clock hits zero from the time when the clock hits zero to whenever I say stop the clock, I will be looking at the recording time, and then add on those minutes and seconds for whenever the clock said zero to whenever I say stop the clock. So, with that being said, let's get right into things with our next matchup and our final matchup for the time frame. With that in mind, let's get right into it. Will the clock operator please start the clock? And we kick things off with a visitor scoring chance of a 42. Visitor player in 5 creates a goal with a quality roll of smart or a triangle. That is John Carlson. He does have a triangle and he does have smart. So therefore, he moves in on Michel Larocque, hoping to make a play save of a 4 or a 5 with a dot. And he does. So John Carlson, no luck there, as his team already won a time frame, won the time frame. The Habs are just looking to gain some momentum heading in to the next day or into the next time frame coming up tomorrow. We got a home scoring chance of a 16. Visitor goalie must make shot save. So Vitek Vanacek is in net for the Washington Capitals, and he needs to make a 1 or 2 to make the save. He can't, and the Montreal Canadiens do get on the board. It's 1-0. And let's see who scored the goal. 7. Player with the best shot rating. So that is going to go to Dot. We're going to give it to Kernoyer. And we will give it to Kernoyer. And the assists is going to be 2. Yikes. It's going to be Riesborough. So Kernoyer and Riesborough will be getting the stat line. Kernoyer the goal, and Riesborough the assist. And it's 1-0 Montreal. Visitor scoring chance of a 22. Home goalie must make shot save. 1 or 2 will save it. 3, 4, 5, or 6 will tie the game. And it will tie the game. Let's see who scored the goal. 8. Player with the best shot rating. That is going to be a tie between Shiri and Daniel Sprong and Evgeny Kuznetsov. Oh, no, not Kuznetsov. I'm sorry. So it'll be Connor Shiri or Daniel Sprong. Dot, it's going to be Shiri. And it will be Shiri. And the assist, 1 assist, Evgeny Kuznetsov. So Shiri from Kuznetsov will score the game-tying goal for the Caps, as the Caps are looking to sweep the time frame by a final of 5-0. We'll find out and see what happens. Quality check between players 4 and 1. That's Bouchard and Hagelin for star. Neither of them have star, so we move on to the next segment in this hockey game. Quality check, this time between players 1 and 3. That's Lambert and Backstrom for star. Both guys have star, and we will move on to the next segment of this time frame. Quality check between anybody on the ice for the Habs and player number 4, that's Nick Jensen, 4 stars. So pick your poison between Lafleur, Mahovlich, or Savard. I do want to keep at least one triangle and one square out there. So Guy Lafleur is going to take it. So Guy Lafleur will win that battle with Nick Jensen for star, as he has the quality, as Nick Jensen does not. As Guy Lafleur moves in on Vitek Vanacek, who needs to make a 1, 2, or 3 to make the stop to keep the game tied. He can't, and the Habs extend the lead. It is 2-1 in favor of the 1976, I should say, 77 Montreal Canadiens. And the assists are going to be 2 assists, Mahovlich and Savard. So it'll be Lafleur from Mahovlich and Savard. And we move on in the next portion of this segment. A penalty check between player number 4, that's Bouchard, and Nick Jensen. It's a flop because he was used. It'll be player number 4 against anybody on the Caps. Well, either way, it's either a tie or go on the power play. They tie. And they'll go on the power play. So Brendan Dillon's going to go to the box as Pierre Bouchard moves in on Vitek Vanacek for a power play goal opportunity to extend the lead here. 1, 2, or 3 will stop it. It will. And with that, the period comes to an end, as after 1, it is 2-1 in favor of the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens. We got ourselves a quality check between players 4 and 3. That's Savard and Lars Eller for power. Both guys have power, and we move on to the next segment in this one. Oops, pressing the wrong button. Anyway, we got a visitor scoring chance of a 35. Visitor player in 2 creates a goal with a quality roll of skill or a triangle. Well, visitor player in 1. Oh, excuse me, 35. Sorry. Visitor player in 2, I should say, creates a goal with a quality roll of skill or a triangle. Daniel Sprong does have skill, and he does not have a triangle, but he does have skill. So Spronger will move in on Michel Larocque, who needs to make a 4 or 5 with a dot to make the stop. He does so. Daniel Sprong comes up empty, as unfortunate as it can get when you're down 2-1 against the Montreal Canadiens. We move on. Home scoring chance, 16. Visitor goalie must make shot save. Again, Vitek Vanacek has a 1 shot save, but in this game, he has a 2, according to the rules or the adjustments for this game. Game 5 is a +1 shot save star, so he needs to make a 1 or a 2 to stop it. He does. So nobody flips, and we move on to the next segment. Home scoring chance again is 61. Any visitor player with a circle prevents a power play goal. Yikes, we don't. The Caps don't have a square out there, so it is going to be a power play goal for the Canadiens as they lead 3-1. And let's see who scored the power play goal. 5 choice players. So we're going to do this: 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. 6 is a reroll. Player number 3, that's Doug Jarvis, and 2 assists will be handed out on the play. It'll be Tremblay and Wilson. So Jarvis from Mario Tremblay and Maury Wilson. we move on to the next portion of this segment. Quality check between 3 and 2. That's Reesboro and TJ Oshie for hits. Looks like 3 and 2, Reesboro. Yes, Reesboro and Oshie for hit. Reesboro has hit, and he moves in on Vitek Vanacek, hopefully to make a play save. 1, 2, or 3 will do so. Oh, and the Montreal Canadiens extend their lead. It's 4-1. They're getting momentum anyways. So the goal goes to Reesboro, and the assists will go to Steve Shutt and Yvonne Cournoyer for the goal, for the assist on the Doug Reesboro goal. And the Habs lead extends to 4-1. As the Habs are going, you try to get yours. You already got your win. Now you try to give us a chance to win a game here. Quality check between the we will definitely finish up this game as we will indeed do so with a quality check between Lafleur and anybody on the ice with almost every quality, but we're looking for star. Oh, TJ needs to move out. So the only guy that's out on the ice right now is either Ovechkin or Carlson. We're going to go with Carlson. I do want to keep Ovechkin out there. So both guys have star, and we move on to the next segment here in this one. And right as we have the right as the clock hits 0, while we were just getting into the portion here to our next segment for the second period. So anyway, with that being said, we move to the third. Your score at the end of 40 minutes, the Habs 4 and the Capitals 1. Visitor scoring chance of a 14. Home goalie must make play saves, so Michel Larocque needs to make a 4 or 5 with a dot to do so, which he will. Nobody will swap. We move on. Quality check, this time between players 5 and 1. That's Chartra and Alex Ovechkin. We're looking for power. Oh, just by the hair of their chinny chin chins. Chartra and Ovechkin will tie as both guys have power. And we move on to the next segment. This time we got a quality check between players 2 and 6, anybody on the ice for the Caps with it's Bouchard, but we're looking for skill. Man, pick your poison between Shiri, Mantha, Kuznetsov, and Orlov. I think we're going with Mantha. Mantha has skill. He's going to win that battle as he moves in on Michel Larocque. 4 or 5 with a dot will do it. Can't. And Mantha will score. Let's see who will assist him on the goal. 7, 2 assists. Kuznetsov and I do want to keep one square out there. So we're going to go with Orlov. So Mantha from Kuznetsov and Orlov will be your scoring tally for that goal right there. And we move on here. Visitor scoring chance, 51. Home player in 1, that's Yvonne Lambert. He stops a goal with a quality roll of power or a square. He does not have a square, but he does have power, so he will stop the goal. He will stop a Washington goal from getting past him. And we move on to the next segment. Home scoring chance, a 25. Choice home player score. Choice player rolls for goal using shots. Excuse me. Choice home player rolls for a goal using assist stars +2. So it looks like we can give Mahavlich that chance. Otherwise, if we give it to Tremblay, it's a 2, but you need to roll a 3 or 3 with a dot. So we're going to go with Mahavlich here in this situation. So 1, 2, or 3 will do so. It will, and the Montreal Canadiens extend their lead. It's 5-2 in favor of Pete Mahavlich. And let's see how many assists on the goal we're going to hand out. 2. So Tremblay will get 1, and Yvonne. Lambert was used. So it will be technically Mahavlich from Tremblay and Wilson. Mahavlich scores the goal. Assisted is Mario Tremblay and Maury Wilson. We continue on here in this segment with a quality check, this time between players 2 and 4. That is Knoyer and Jensen for star. It looks like Yvonne Knoyer has star, so he's going to move in on Vitek Vanacek as Knoyer shoots and scores 6-2 now, as the Habs are really putting on a roughing on the Caps in Game 5. Even though the Caps won the time frame, the Habs are fighting for a little bit of dignity heading into tomorrow's time frame. And with that, Knoyer will score the goal unassisted. So Knoyer will score the goal unassisted, probably either on a breakaway or anything else. Jensen, yep. Jensen was used. And we move on to the next portion of this segment. We got a visitor scoring chance of a 54. Home player in 4 stops a goal. That's Pierre Bouchard if he has a quality roll of power or a square. He does not have a square, and he does have power, so he's going to stop the Washington goal from scoring. And folks, that is going to be it. Stop the clock. Oh my goodness. What a series, what a time frame. But however, the Montreal Canadiens do gain a game in the time frame, but the Capitals will win the 2020-21 Washington Capitals are going to win Team NHL's first time frame matchup of this project, winning 4-1. And with that being said, hope you guys enjoyed today's time frame matchup. Stay tuned for the next wheel spin coming up right after the Bitty Beer Game 5 game summary, and also the Bitty Beer time frame summary, as both game summaries and time frame summaries are brought to you by Bitty Beer, your favorite Bitty Beer products. If you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. As always, it has a big taste at a bitty price. It's Bitty Beer. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's time frame matchup between the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens and the 2020-21 Washington Capitals. We look forward to bringing you future time frame matchups throughout the 2024-25 National Hockey League's regular season, whenever games are being played. Once again, it's that time of day again where we get to figure out who will play the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens next in this Gauntlet Challenge project. With that in mind, please direct your attention to the Bitty Beer Team Selector Wheel presented by your favorite Bitty Beer products. And as a reminder, if you choose to drink Bitty Beer, please drink responsibly. It's as always, it is a big taste at a bitty price, which of course is Bitty Beer. Ooh, the 2022-23 Boston Bruins are up next to tassel with the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens. But between the 22-23 Bruins and the 76-77 Habs, who's going to be the home team to start tomorrow's time frame? Well, let's spin the Doc Cola home team decider wheel presented by Doc Cola, the official cola drink of the PLAAY Games community, and as always, of course, presented by the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens Gauntlet Challenge. Dare I say a tough task? Let's hope not, as the 22-23 Boston Bruins will head to Montreal to take on the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens as the 1976-77 Montreal Canadiens will begin the next time frame in this Gauntlet Challenge. With that in mind, again, thank you so much for tuning to today's time frame matchup between the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens and the 2020 and 2021 Washington Capitals. Please be sure to subscribe and turn on that notifications bell so that way you don't miss out on any future time frame matchups as well as future content that I may post here on this channel. Also, please sure to leave a like on this video if you like the video, and of course, be sure to leave a comment below on how you think your favorite team did, or if you just want to say congrats or just say something nice, but please, no derogatory language. With that in mind, I hope you guys enjoyed today's time frame matchup and enjoyed the video. And as always, hope you guys have a great rest of your day.